Hello farmers, we hope that you had a fantastic week.
Welcome to yet another episode of Kilimo Diaries.
We are here in Maroroi in Kiambu, and of course this is Kuku Spur.
And we are about to take on an exciting venture, learning everything about poultry equipment and accessories.
Yani tunataka kujua unapatia kuku aje maji na unatumia mbinu gani kumpatia kuku maji, and of course kama ni maneno ya joto lazima kuku wapate joto, but which equipments do you use kuhakikisha kwamba wanapata joto mzuri?
And we are not alone. We are joined by our model farmer John.
And John is not by himself. Tuko na aspiring farmers as well who are ready to learn much on this.
So join us and learn so much on this topic. I am Sheila Chelangat.
And I am MC Jaffe. Uko tayari?
Niko tayari.
Hata mimi niko tayari.
So twende.
Let's do this.
Kilimo Diaries, brought to you by Backbone Feeds Kenya Limited. To place your order, please call or WhatsApp us on 0710-822-222 or visit any of our distributors countrywide. Backbone Feeds, healthy broilers, happy farmers.
Hi.
Looking good.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
So first introduce yourself to us and tell us for how long have you been keeping poultry?
Well, my name is Njuguna, and I've been keeping poultry for the last 15 years. I'm a businessman in the poultry industry.
And we are hoping to learn everything about equipment and accessories as well. But before we even start, I see this is a biosecurity zone. What does that mean? It's a lot of English. Break it down to us, and why is it only authorized people who can get in there?
Well, biosecurity basically means we're trying to keep away diseases from the farm. And first of all, the main culprits of bringing diseases are humans and birds. So that is why I'm going to hand you over the hairnet.
Okay.
So you can put on the hairnet, wash your hands at the wash hand basin, and then follow me through the foot dip. Yes, you're ready now, you can follow me.
All right, I am ready. But first, let us throw it over to Jaffe, who is with our aspiring farmers of the day, even as I now engage our model farmer John inside the biosecurity zone.
Thank you. Come in.
Niko na aspiring farmers ambao nilikuwa napiga story na wao. Of course tumekula good time. Unajua all these farms ambazo tumeenda nimejifunza mambo mengi sana. Kuna watu wanakuambia kwamba mimi maneno ya technology chakula I don't even know. Na achaga tu na mwaga hapo alafu wanajiserve. Wengine wanasema kwamba za zile nataka joto ya kuku nafungulia mabati wanapata vitamin D kutoka huko natural alafu na achana nao. Sasa zile pia kunanyesha labda kuna baridi na washa moto. Let me just introduce them kwa sababu tuko hapa Kuku Spur, Maroroi, Kiambu County. Mami unaitwa nani?
Naitwa Iri. Na lea
1200 birds.
From Mulanga. Nimekuja ku learn more about new technology.
New technology ya kuwafuga more na kuwatetea vizuri. Na unaitwa nani mami?
Naitwa Susan. Na lea kuku pale Thika.
Una wangapi mama?
Saa hii nimefikisha 600.
600?
600. Na haja yangu sana kuja hapa ni kujua nitafanyaje ili kuzuia vifo za hawa kuku.
Yani
maana wanakufa mpaka unashangaa.
Na bro unaitwa nani bro?
Naitwa Mike.
Yes Mike.
Nalea kuku Muranga.
Una wangapi bro?
Kama 800.
800. Wewe bro, wewe ni Gen Z. Unajua Gen Z wanaogopa kuku bwana. Wanasema mimi hiyo kazi sifanyi bro.
Kuku ndio mambo yote.
Una nice?
Personally kwenye imenileta heating system.
Heating system.
Joto tu.
Nafurahia hiyo. Mrembo unaitwa nani?
Naitwa Liz. Na lea kuku pande wa Nairobi.
Kawa West uko na wangapi Liz?
Niko na 350.
350?
Yes.
Of them?
Yes.
Unataka kujifunza nini siku ya leo mami?
Nataka kujifunza jinsi naweza ku-upgrade from that number to a higher number.
Tupandishe number.
Yes.
Napenda hiyo. Na wewe bro?
Niko salama.
Unaitwa nani?
Naitwa David. Mkulima wa kuku. Niko na kuku 350.
350. Wewe ni aspiring farmer. So leo unataka kujifunza nini bro?
Nataka kuwa mkulima mkubwa. Na ningetaka kujua hasa jinsi ya kuwapea wa kuku wangu maji.
Maji.
Maji imenisumbua.
Unajua watu wengine wanamwaga tu maji alafu pia wanajisoto. Wengine hata wameanza kuswim ndani ya buckets.
Kabisa, nimewapata kuku wangu wakiswim.
So leo lazima tujifunze. Mko tayari tujifunze aspiring farmers? Of course nimezunguka farms kadha wa kadha na nimejipanga. Unajua lazima tuzingatie, ndio tuingie pale ndani, lazima tuzingatie. Nataka niangalie hapa tuhakikishe kwamba safety comes first. Si ndio? Wacha tupange hapa, hii ni yako hii. Umesema unaitwa Michael. Hii nataka kumpatia, napatia mrembo hapa, nimpatie my sweet 16 hapa alafu na yako. Mimi najipanga na yangu.
Sawa.
Ndio hii hapa. Mlikuwa mnafikiria sijajipanga. So karibuni sana tuende. Mko tayari kulan? Sisi ni wanafunzi, mko tayari? Let's do this. Karibuni sana.
We are at the brooder, and literally here is where the rubber meets the road. And as you can see behind me, there is a wide array of equipment and accessories. And of course, I am not alone. I am with the aspiring farmers and MC Jaffe.
Now, of course, tumekuja na team kubwa sana. Niko na, from my extreme left, niko na Mike, niko na Davy, niko na Irene, niko na Susan, and of course, niko na Liz. Na sisi ni aspiring farmers. We're ready to watch and learn.
All right, and we will be learning from our model farmer John, who will be taking us through this topic on what to consider on some of the equipment even as you start your poultry venture. John, if we could just begin with the feeding systems. I see there's a lot of trays and drinkers. Perhaps what have you adopted in your farm, and what do you consider at every stage of the bird growing?
Well, in the life of the bird, there are two phases. There's growing period and there's the rearing period. Now, in the primary period, where the birds are in the brooder, we place chick trays and chick feeders on the ground level so that the birds can easily eat from the ground level. As they grow in size, and after about 5 or 7 days, they will start to eat from the bigger feeders, because now when you come to the trays, they will have come out of that age of being in the trays because of dirtifying the trays.
And I'm looking around, and this is a plastic tray. Do you also consider the material of the trays that you use?
Yes, I'll first take you back to the colors. Birds are adaptive to 3 colors, the red, yellow, and white. They are very attractive colors to the birds. So if you're an aspiring farmer, make a point of getting the right equipment for your birds. Red is a good color, it is an attractive color. And the feeders and the trays, as you can see, have a ratio. One of these trays is enough to feed 50 birds. So if you're doing like 1,000 chicks, divide by 50, you will need 20 of these.
20 of the trays.
Now, as you can see, we have more than enough, because our ratio is, the lower the ratio, the better, so that at any one time, birds are not scrambling to feed from one point.
And let's come to water, because also that is an essential part of their growing as birds. Do you use manual or do you use automated, watering systems in your farm? And probably what's the difference between the two?
Well, in the beginning, we used this kind of drinker. This is a manual drinker. It holds 3 liters of water. The reason why we use the small drinker for 3 liters is so that it can be replenished as often as possible. Because in the beginning, the first 7 days, you're either putting a vitamin inside here. So the efficacy of the vitamin, itaisha nguvu after several hours. So the bird will drink 2 times water than the feed. So if you're doing like 20 grams on that day, you'll need 40 ml of water. So you'll know by the stocking of your birds, alafu upime hiyo maji, weke hapa. This is normally refilled at least 3 times, because basically it will only carry about 1.5 liters. Alafu after about 8 hours, kama ijamalizika, inamwagwa, inawekwa ingine. Yeah, so that you can keep the water fresh and the vitamin working. But after about 7 days, we'll adapt the automated drinkers. We have an overhead tank here, and we have pipes. You can see the green pipes running, and they will supply water to the whole of this house. We will put the Bell automatic drinkers and lower them to the chick level so that it's easy for the staff to manage them and for the birds to drink from them. The ratio of one drinker is 70 chicks.
Okay.
Whether it's a chick or a big bird, the ratio is 1:70.
All right. Jaffe?
Kwa sisi aspiring farmers tunajifunza, by the way, tunajifunza na tuko na maswali. Nimeangalia the way outlay ama the layout ya the housing system hapa. What was the name of this layout?
Well, this is an open house, or some people call it a conventional house, meaning air in, air out, and ventilation and air speed is managed through curtains. Right now, when we're in the brooder, we need an external curtain and an internal curtain. The external curtain is to keep away wind or cold, and the internal curtain is to harness the warmth of the brooder. But as the birds grow, we will start lowering the curtains and remove the inner curtain when they're about 21 days. If you want to put birds and you put them in a correct manner, the housing must be east and west oriented. So you must understand where the sun rises and where the sun sets, because your wind will come from the opposite direction. The rays of the sun should not enter inside the house of the bird, because it will displace the birds to one area.
How much space do I need to grow per bird?
One broiler bird needs 1 square foot to grow to maturity. Therefore, in the brooder, you will need 30% of that area space, and then you go expanding as the birds grow. But at day 21, you need to have occupied the whole house so that you give your bird 1 square foot from then on.
And then let's now jump into litter management. How do you manage your litter, and probably how often do you replace?
First of all, in the brooder or in this kind of setup, we use wood shavings. And the wood shavings must be about 4 inches so that it can keep the bird warm. These wood shavings are not removed at all unless there's spillage of water, because birds become adaptive to that kind of environment. And as they grow, they will be better in terms of body weight when they are using their original litter. So we do not remove this litter. What we do, we rake the litter every day.
Aspiring farmers tumesema kwamba sisi tuna learn tukiwatch as well. Na niko na aspiring farmer ambaye kuna swali hapa.
In my farm I use charcoal for heating. Naona uko na mashini zingine hapa sijaona. Kindly explain to us.
These are called gas brooders. One of these brooders is enough to brood at least 2,000 birds. So you look at the area space. If you're doing 4,000 birds, you take 30% of your area space and set up 2 brooders. The advantage of gas brooding over charcoal is, one, there is clean air. There is no residue or carbon. So that means your birds will not have any respiratory disorders, and you are going to give them a better environment. Number 2, there is less human interaction. The birds need to rest and eat and drink and sleep. That's the cycle of the bird. So as many times as you're entering here, you're denying the bird that. And the other thing, and the biggest advantage with gas brooding, is radiation. A gas brooder will radiate evenly, whether the bird is at 10 foot away or 2 foot away. Like you see, our temperature, our thermometer is about 10 foot away, and it will read the same temperature as 2 foot away. So there is uniformity in terms of comfort, bird comfort, and that is what we want to achieve, so that you can also achieve uniformity in growth.
Tujipige makofi kwa swali. Before I hand over to you, Sheila, tuko na swali hapa. Unajua nimekuambia kwamba tumelan. Kuna swali hapa.
I wanted to know why you use wood shaving over the rice husk.
The reason why I use wood shavings is, number 1, they are easy to manage and they are easy to absorb. They absorb water better than the rice husks. That means they will keep the humidity in the area lower than in rice husks. Number 2, they do not cake as fast as rice husks. Therefore, wood shavings will go the whole cycle without need to be replaced.
once I have considered all this equipment, what then would be the cost of production per bird for me as an aspiring farmer?
Of course.
You're going to get a day old with about 105 shillings from any agent or any breeder. Then you're going to use 1 kilo of feed for the starter. And a kilo of feed in the market is about 83 shillings. And then from there, you're going to use another 2.3 kilos of finisher pellets to finish off the birds. A kilo of finisher is about 78. If you do your mathematics, it will come to about 250, 255. Then you pack another maybe 20 shillings as farm overheads. You've got steamer, water, your staff, you've got disinfectants, you've got vitamins, you've got vaccines, and you've got the brooding cost. That will pack about 22 to 25 shillings per bird. So at day 35, you'll be running a cost of about 370 if you're doing a large scale. If you're doing small scale, you're probably running about 380 per bird.
All right, that is a lot of insight from our model farmer John, and we will be getting more of that after this short commercial break as we get out, because it's getting a little bit hotter here at the brooder. Do not go too far. Keep it TV 47.
Kilimo Diaries, brought to you by Backbone Feeds Kenya Limited. To place your order, please call or WhatsApp us on 0710 822 222 or visit any of our distributors countrywide. Backbone Feeds, healthy broilers, happy farmers.
Welcome back. This is Kilimo Diaries on TV 47, and on this episode we are at John's farm. Wapi Jaffe?
Of course, hapa ni Kuku Spur, Maroroi, Kiambu County.
Absolutely, and we have learned everything about poultry equipment and accessories. And on this part, we will be engaging our aspiring farmers on some of the lessons learned as well as questions they have for our model farmer, John. But before that, we still do have a lot of questions for you, John, especially now. What are some of the common mistakes that farmers do when it comes to choosing their equipment as they begin their journeys into poultry farming?
I think the most common mistake is understanding the life of the bird and the age of the bird and the particular equipment that the bird needs for that particular age. Number two, the ratio. You find that a farmer has maybe 1,000 birds but does not have enough equipment to the ratio of the bird.
And also color.
And also the color.
Because we've learned red, yellow and white are the colors for chicken.
Exactly.
Before we entered there, it was, the biosecurity zone. And I'm wondering, what are some of the disinfectants that are there that a farmer should probably take into consideration to ensure that they are biosafe in their farms?
Well, when you come to food dip disinfection, you need a strong disinfectant. Most of the time you'll find that tar-based disinfectants are very good. Something like Farm Guard, something like Kero, those are very good for food dip disinfection. You've got alcohol-based disinfectants and even ammonia-based disinfectants, which are also very good to keep away diseases. But it's also important to know that if you have more than one food dip, you need to use different kinds of disinfectants so that you don't duplicate what you have used in this food dip to the next food dip. However, if you're used to using one particular disinfectant, then there is a risk of the farm getting used to that. So you often need to keep changing your disinfectant as often as possible.
So what you mean is that if I have foot dip number 1 and it's using alcohol, the next one will be using a different type.
Exactly.
All right.
Or you can use this one for this week and next week you use a different disinfectant so that the farm doesn't get used to one kind of disinfectant.
John, I'm an aspiring farmer. I'm a start, I'm beginning. Just paint for me a picture of an ideal structure as I venture into this kind of farming.
Well, an ideal structure must have air in, air out. That's a first and most important quality. Number 2, the sun must not get inside the structure. Number 3, the height of the structure must not exceed 8 foot, so that even when you're using heating, whether you're using charcoal or gas, you do not heat excessive space that you do not require. The other thing is you need a structure that will hold or accommodate the number of birds that you are aspiring to keep. That means 1 square foot per bird in the broiler sector. Yeah.
Does probably a poorly designed structure and probably flow, does it have any impact kwa kuku ambao unataka kuwaweka?
Yes, we have two kinds of floors. You've got the mud floor and you've got the concrete floor. A mud floor is the one that, you know, is not concreted. So it is good, but in times where you risk of a disease in the farm, then it is very difficult to eliminate that disease because bacteria normally harbor on the ground. Now, when you come to a concreted floor, it must be smooth so that there are no cracks and it does not leave room for any bacteria to get inside or below. That means cleaning is easier and also disease management is easier. The other thing, if the floor is not well designed, then you'll have a lot of humidity on the floor, which will lead to wet litter. Wet litter will lead to footpad dermatitis, and that will be an entry point for bacteria into the. So as much as you feed the bird and it's got dermatitis, it will not convert feed to the correct ratio.
Wow, beautiful. Before I jump next to the question kutoka sisi aspiring farmers, do you hatch your chicken ama wewe unanunua tu wale ambao wako tayari?
Mimi nanunua kutoka agents or breeders. I do not hatch because those are professionals in that field, and I'm a farmer. So I'd rather be professional in what I can be able to do and let them handle what they are good at. Hatching and breeding and hatching is one different and very complex exercise, and you need high levels of biosecurity in the breeder farms and in the hatchery. So for me, I would find it easier to buy a day old, which I know is from a good and reputable source, and I bring it to the farm, and now I do my thing. I grow it as a farmer.
Wow, beautiful. Liz, alikuwa na swali hapo.
Okay, my question is, how do you dispose your birds? I mean the mortalities, the right way to dispose the dead ones.
Well, there are different methods of disposing mortalities or dead birds in the farm. But remember, every dead bird must have a reason to die. So the most important thing is to dispose it well. Some people will use the dip or a hole. Some people will bury. But for me, I incinerate, which is the safest way. Yeah.
Does it have perhaps, advantage to incinerate rather than just burying?
Yes, when you incinerate or when you burn the bird completely, that means there's nothing left. There's no bacteria that is left within that environment that could actually mutate or be left to the farm. I think incineration is the best and most advised way of disposing birds.
Of course, my friend Susan pia kona swali hapa. Uko na swali mama?
And me, I'm asking, you are doing all you are supposed to do, but your birds keep on dying. You can, like me, I normally keep 600 birds, and I can lose even up to 150 birds. What could be the possible cause, John?
Well, I think, birds are introduced to the farm from a breeder. So you need to evaluate and see whether the breeder has brought you the right quality of birds. If the quality is right, then you need to evaluate your management system, and especially the first 10 days. That is when you make your bird. The brooding process is the most important period for the bird. If birds become cold or chill during that period, and the temperatures are not correct in the brooding period, that will be manifested much later. You will have hypertensive disorders like ascites, water belly, or heart attacks, simply because the bird did not, the organs of the bird did not grow in the same ratio as the bird is putting on the meat. So I think management is also something that someone can be able to evaluate. Biosecurity is key. Do not let wild birds get in there. Do not let visitors, unauthorized visitors. And also look at your feed distribution process, because you may have a distributor bringing in feeds and he has distributed to other farms which may have had incidences of illnesses in that farm. So biosecurity is key.
And yes, of course, ukishafika mahali umejifunza kitu, lazima kukuwe na lesson to take home. Na David, tuanze hapa. Ni nini umejifunza siku ile kwa hii farm ya John, unasema kwamba I'm going home with this lesson?
Thank you. Among many lessons that I've learned how to water my birds and the biosecurity, that is in terms of hygiene. Number 2, I've learned how to brood to the correct temperature.
Mike?
I have majorly learned about heating. Heating is what brought me here. I have gathered a lot besides that. Thank you, Mr. John.
So tumeacha maneno ya makaa ya kuwasha kwenda kudisturb ndege. Tumwambia kwamba any moment unakanyaga huko na unaingia na earphones, una dance, unapiga kelele, they need peace and feeding. Utajituma, wachana na makaa. Kuna maneno ya carbon. Suza, umejifunza nini?
Nimejifundisha I need to control it inside the brooder. And especially, as John has just mentioned, I've seen his birds, they are at peace. There is no crowding. And that is just because of the evenly distributed temperature. Therefore, that is very key. And as he has said, that what you invest in brooding is what you reap when you are harvesting. Actually, I've learned that management of these birds is key, and especially biosecurity, which we back at home is just a matter of changing shoes when you enter. Yes.
Kwa hivyo kweli umetulia tu pale nyumbani, hakikisha kwamba usiseme ati kuku wanakado lapa alafu wanapata joto. Watafinyana wakufe.
Kabisa.
Irene?
Today I've learned more about biosecurity that I have not done properly at my home. I think I need to improve on that, and I'm so much happy to come here and learn more.
Wow, beautiful. Finally, Liz, take home.
Thank you. I've learned the biosecurity is the key.
Biosecurity is the key. Kwa sababu unaweza kuwa una invest, alafu Sheila, wote wa kulu, alafu sasa unaanza kulia, "Oi, tafanya nini?"
Mbona mimi hujaniuliza the lessons learned? Lessons learned? For me today the take home is that every bird dies for a reason. So we must ensure that there is proper disposal.
Proper disposal. So tusikule
kuku yenye imekufa.
This is it. We are done. And of course, tunataka kushukuru John kwa kuweza kutuhost hapa Kuku Spur. Who knows, after this naenda kula kuku choma. And of course, thank you to Kenya National Farmers Federation. Thank you to Backbone Feeds Kenya Limited. Asante sana to the aspiring farmers for joining us in this amazing time.
And of course, thanks to you for always keeping it TV47 and watching Kilimo Diaries. And who knows, we could be coming to a farm next to you. I am Sheila Chelangat.
And I'm MC Jaffe.
And this is Kilimo Diaries, a show for the farmers,
by the farmers,
with the farmers.
Kilimo Diaries, brought to you by Backbone Feeds Kenya Limited. To place your order, please call or WhatsApp us on 0710 822 222 or visit any of our distributors countrywide. Backbone Feeds, healthy broilers, happy farmers.